What's up? What's going on? Hide and Read with another episode of Weekly Western Wrap Up. This week, it's Sackett by Louis L'Amour. This is a good one. This might be my favorite, I think, so far in the entire Sackett series. We'll see. I might just be a little bit excited. I literally just finished reading it, so time will tell. Hopefully, we get more installments with this main character. But we have a bit of a group read going. There's a few more of us when we started, but this is the nature of long distance trips. Some people bowed out, no shame. Just happy to have people along, so feel free to join in halfway through if you want, or maybe even just read this one, because in my opinion, you could read this book in the Sackett series by itself. I could have read this one first and been happy with it. Don't really need to start with at the beginning, so to speak. But anyway, here's my copy. I think one of you guys gave this to me. Maybe it was Faceless. I know Graz gave me one of these. I gotta look back and see. But yeah, Sackett by Louis L'Amour. This is an awesome read. Real short. I think this book was 130 pages. And it could have easily been much longer. So this character, William Tell Sackett, they just call him Tell. He's one of three brothers, and he's kind of like more wild than the other two. The other two brothers are not gentle by any means, especially not when Tell left home. But when he returns home, he comes to find that his brothers have kind of settled and become a little like learned, and they've kind of advanced themselves in society. They become like members of society, so to speak. And I guess one of the ways they learn about this kind of stuff and become educated is by reading these like moral philosophical works by what's this gentleman's name? Sir William Blackstone, and they refer to the book as Blackstone all the time. What is Blackstone? These are commentaries on English law, and basically just explaining the common law, like around London at the time. And this main character, William Tell Sackett, he's not actually very literate. He could read some things, but he basically uses this one Blackstone book to teach himself how to read, and he just spends his free time at night sitting by the fire, kind of reading this kind of moral philosophy material. This becomes important because he finds a cave full of gold that these Spanish explorers had stumbled upon in New Mexico, like kind of around the area of Taos, Sangre de Cristos, the Blood of Jesus Mountains, like somewhere around here. And like high desert. And there's not an easy way for him to go in and out of this area. And if you're familiar with that area, I'm only familiar through reading westerns. There's a lot of snow in the winter. It's a very harsh climate. So he finds like this huge, what they would call like a mother lode of gold. And he gets some of this gold, returns to his familial home, reunites with his family, and realizes that he can't just go and get the gold that he found. I'm getting gray. Very gray. Okay. Anyway, he can't just go and get the gold that he found and just bring it into town and cash it in, because everyone's going to realize that this guy found a ton of gold. And so he ends up kind of devising this plan that he's going to set up a claim and kind of throw off the scent of this gold. So they set up a claim, and then because he's reading all these moral philosophies about common law, he gets it in his mind to set up a town and stake out property around the claim, because other people are going to come in and they're going to need to buy things and trade and sell. So they set up just kind of like the bare perimeters for a town. If you ever saw the movie Once Upon a Time in the West, you see how they do this towards the end of the movie, where they have like everything kind of out in grids, and they're like trying to set up a town, because that's where a lot of the money is in forming these towns. So anyway, he sets up this town, and while he's out working the mine, or getting ready to, there's a group of people that he's kind of rubbed the wrong way through his travels, and they show up and try to kind of take the town from him. And yeah, he's not only are they trying to take the town from him, they're trying to kill him. Like, there's really no law out there. They're out in the middle of nowhere, and they kind of like have come kind of smart to the possibility that he found one of these mother lodes, and they want to go and steal everything from him, including his life. And he isn't very hesitant about ending these guys. But all of this is kind of justified through this Blackstone kind of common law commentaries, which I think is very interesting. And like I said, this could have been probably as long as the entire Sackett series. And I feel like that's one of the big bonuses of reading Louis L'Amour books, is that he leaves a lot to be said. I know a lot, this isn't like really kind of like in vogue right now. Like, the thing to do is to write the biggest book imaginable and cover every aspect. But what I really appreciate Louis L'Amour for is that there's a lot, as a reader, there's a lot of breathing room in these books. For example, he doesn't really talk about Blackstone a lot, but if I go and read Blackstone commentaries and then come back and read the book again, it's gonna be more enjoyable. Like, I'll have more to think about. If I go out to Taos, New Mexico and ski up in Angel Fire, and I look around and see the mountains and everything, and I go back, and then I'll have a better understanding of that geography. This book is going to be more enjoyable. If I research Spanish gold expeditions on the West Coast, this book is going to become more enjoyable, because he kind of just clues you in on a lot of stuff. He doesn't cover it very in depth, which I appreciate. It leaves room for you to kind of like build up lore, basically. And a lot of times that I feel like that's lacking in modern fiction. Same thing in music too. Like, a lot of music is in the silence. Like, a lot of music is what is not being played, basically. And yeah, whenever a writer or musician is confident to leave that space for the listener, I really appreciate that. So yeah, that's just a little bit of rambling about Louis L'Amour. But yeah, this book was awesome. It had a lot to do with men and women coming to understand each other in like societal roles, basically. Another unpopular thing right now, especially in fiction. I feel like a lot of the romance in fictions has to be like two people kind of like finding each other and having like this fantasy relationship, and it's almost never about the difference between men and women. I mean, at this point, a lot of people are even ashamed to admit that there's a difference between men and women, and that like understanding what the difference is and coming to terms with it, and then respecting each other for our differences, is a lot of what actual romance is. And yeah, all that stuff is in this book, and it's not kind of like thrown in your face. It's just, in 2 or 3 lines, Louis L'Amour can do he can do a lot of work. So I feel like he's writing at some of his best that I've read so far. So even if you're not interested in reading Sackett series, I would definitely suggest that you read Sackett by Louis L'Amour. It was awesome. I really enjoyed it. And at 130 pages, what do you really have to lose here? A day, 2 days at the most. I mean, it's not that big of a deal. So I'm really hoping that, I forget what, it's Skyliners and something else for the 2 books on the Sackett train this month. I can't remember what 2 books it is. I know Skyliners, I don't know. I'm pretty sure it's the second one or something before that, but I got to go hunt that down. I'm really hoping that this character will tell Sackett or even his brothers. His brothers seem pretty cool, but definitely he might be my favorite Sackett thus far. So we'll see. And until next time, I hope you guys find somewhere to hide. You find something to read. Maybe you want to hit the bell. And yeah, be well. Peace.